Hello, my name is John Frashante, and this is the First Team web series. You may have heard me on the First Team podcast. You may have saw me write on CosmosSoccerFan.com. I write on that website weekly. I usually send out. I usually write a weekly article on that website. You may have heard me on the First Team podcast. I'm a diehard Cosmos fan, as you can see behind me. And I enjoy podcasting, so we're gonna do that in the future. We're gonna continue doing a podcast, but right now we're looking for a permanent home for our podcast. Um, you on the last episode of the First Team podcast, you may have heard my co-host Giovanni Gio. He is not here today, so it is just me right now on this web series. On the first ever episode, um, this is gonna be a weekly episode, so mostly every single Monday, if not every week. I don't know what specific day, but it's going to be every week. We will release this web web series. And on this show, we are going to preview tonight's matches, but we are going to review the Cosmos match against FC Edmonton. Um, it wasn't what Cosmos fans expected. It wasn't. As a Cosmos fan, I expected them to capitalize on what chance that they had and score a goal, but we were lucky. We got dealt lucky things. We got Edmonton got a red card, so we were up a man. We got awarded a lot of free kicks. We got awarded a penalty shot, which we didn't capitalize on. We didn't capitalize on the free kicks. Some we got so close that you may have screamed goal, but it wasn't a goal. So what the Cosmos had to practice in their training sessions throughout the week for this upcoming match against the Silverbacks, they have to really work hard, and when the other team gets a red card, you gotta play better, be in possession of the ball, be in front of the net the whole game, try to score a goal, try your hardest to capitalize on, because they're down an extra man. Why should the team that has one less man be playing better than you when you have one man extra? So that's what you have to work hard with in training sessions. And we should have won the game, but we can't dwell in the past. Today it's Saturday, and we have to put that in the past and work for today's match against the Atlanta Silverbacks. So we're going to preview tonight's matches. So let's start with the Cosmos against the Silverbacks. So it will be the first time the Cosmos went to Silverbacks Park, the first time since we beat them in the Silverback in the NASL Soccer Bowl. So the first time since we beat them in the Soccer Bowl. Hopefully we can beat them tonight, but the Silverbacks are gonna be upset. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna try to beat us because we beat them last year in the Soccer Bowl. So the last time we played them was the opening day, the first match of the NASL season. We beat them 4-0 at Hofstra Short Stadium. That was a great match to watch, a great match to go to. And it was a great match. And we thought, after that game, wow, this season's going to be easy. We're going to win. That's not how it ended up. Not how it worked. So hopefully we could get a better result tonight. We're going to preview the Silverbacks, their squad. Talk a little bit about them right now. But so the Silverbacks, they used to have, their coach was Eric Ronaldo. He is not there anymore. He quit. He said that he wasn't with his family or whatever was his situation, so he left. So now they have a brand new coach, Jason Smith, I think is his name. He used to be the coach of the club, but now he is the coach again. So I never saw him coach before. I don't know if he's a good coach. We will see tonight how good he is. What the squad he puts out for tonight against the New York Cosmos. They don't really have a lot of names that jumps out at you, the Silverbacks, because they are a low-budgeted club. That they don't have a well-known name in the league. So the only name that jumps out at you is They're probably the best goalkeeper in the league all time in the new era of the NASL is Joe NASL. He is a great goalkeeper. But they got him on loan from the Colorado Rapids. They got him on loan from the Colorado Rapids because in the offseason they let him go. He wanted to leave. He wanted to go to MLS. So he went to MLS. So I got him on loan again. So they're happy that they have him back. And as a Cosmos fan, he is a great goalkeeper. So that is probably the best player on the field for the Silverbacks tonight against the Cosmos. So that's a player to watch out for. There probably won't be a lot of goals because he's in net. So hopefully he is off his game because we're playing the Cosmos, but he will be on his game tonight, especially against the Cosmos. They're a team to fear. So the Cosmos, they have a lot of lineup issues in a way. Connor Ladd, they got him on loan from the Red Bulls. He is injured. Andres Flores, he is on loan from an El Salvadorian club. I don't know if he traveled with the club. We will see tonight. But last week, Gio, he picked Stefan Dimitrov instead of Matt Stoklin. So hopefully Stoklin starts instead of Stefan. I'm not trying to say Stefan is a bad player, but I would like to see Mad start instead of him because I think he's a better striker. He is a better player than Stefan. So that is the Cosmos squad. I don't think it's going to be an easy match, but it's going to be hard in a way because the Silverbacks, they are a dangerous squad. We saw that in the U.S. Open Cup. They went further than the Cosmos, and them and the Redhawks, they went far. So they could be a dangerous club if you don't focus, if you don't work hard, and if you don't watch the film. So it is going to be a good match. That's all I'm going to say about the Cosmos match. I hope that the Cosmos get the result that they want, the 3 points. Hopefully they go to Atlanta, they get the 3 points, and they come home. But just gotta hope. Let's go Cosmos. So we're gonna we're gonna preview more matchups right now. So we got Carolina Railhawks versus the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The Railhawks have a dangerous squad with TT Shipolani. He's a speedster. He's very fast. They have a lot of players like him that are fast. That if you give them space, that they would run and maybe score a goal and capitalize on the space that you gave them. So the Rowdies can't give the Redhawks a lot of space. The defenders have to be in front of the Redhawks every single time. So defenders for the Tampa Bay Rowdies have to be on their game if they want to win the match. So, but the Rowdies, they have a great squad too. They have Georgi Rissov. They have the leading Golden Boot winner from last year, Brian Schreiber. They got Matt Pickens from MLS. They have Lucky. He is fast too. So you got a lot of players that are fast, speedsters, whatever you want to call them. They are great players too. So that's going to be a great game. That's why it is the NASL match of the week for this week on ESPN3. So tune in on ESPN3 for that match and on NASL Live. So the next matchup is Minnesota United against FC Edmonton. FC Edmonton has a quality, a talented squad with Christian Ramirez, Miguel Ibarra. They have a lot of players that you should look at, you should watch out for. But if you were FC Edmonton, you have a great squad as well. Probably not as well as talented players as not like the quality players, but you could still win the match. They have younger players, so they have a lot of young players. FC Edmonton implemented their academy, so they have a lot of players that went through their academy that are now in the first team squad. So the first team. So FC Edmonton has a nice quality squad. they are a low budgeted club, so I'm not trying to say that affects the outcome, but they will be that would also be a great game because FC Edmonton against Minnesota United. Hopefully, FC Edmonton uh, gets a point. Hopefully, they tie. But um, I'm saying that as a Cosmos fan. But if you're a fan of either club, you're hoping for a victory. So next up, we got the San Antonio Scorpions against Indy 11. Indy 11, they only got one road win, and that was against the Carolina Railhawks. So they're gonna look for another road win against the Scorpions in Texas, in San Antonio, at Toyota Field. So hopefully the Indy 11 could capitalize on another road win. They're Indy 11 are doing great. They are filling the mic 10,000 plus every single match. So that is great. That is a great NASL club off the pitch. What they're doing on the pitch, hopefully they could win matches and compete for the postseason. They have Mike Amersley. They have Christian Nitt, a quality goalkeeper. So they have some great players that they work hard every single match. And they don't really get the result that they really want. So hopefully they get the result today that they like, and the 3 points against the San Antonio Scorpions. But the Scorpions, they have a quality team as well too. Eric Hasley, MLS goalkeeper on loan from New York City FC, Josh Saunders, a quality goalkeeper, made tremendous saves against the Rowdies. So it would be hard for Indy 11 to get past Josh Saunders if he starts for the San Antonio Scorpions because they got another quality goalkeeper on their bench. So there are a lot of matches, a lot of key matches to look out for today, tonight. So a lot of matches to look out for. So we also there's a Fort Lauderdale against the Ottawa Fury. The strikers they picked up Christian Ramirez from Indy 11 last week, so he is a good player. Last week they had him on the bench. He came off the bench and he provided some quality minutes off the bench. So the Strikers are looking to get 3 points against Ottawa Fury. The Fury have a great club too, but they're going to be looking for. The Strikers are going to be looking to gain some points to try to go up more in the combined schedule to hopefully get a postseason spot. So that is our preview of tonight's matches. The show is not over yet. We don't just talk about NASL. We talk about world football. We talk about transfer markets, and we have a topic for today. So let's get to let's get to let's talk about NASL expansion. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about right now. So NASL expansion. Where should they go? What teams? What location should they put them in? What market? What market fits the NASL right now? They got Jacksonville next year. They got Jacksonville, Oklahoma. That's 2 definite markets that are coming in next year. They got 2 extra clubs. And then now, Virginia says, no, we don't want to come in 2015. We want to come in 2016. So hopefully they get everything right there, Virginia. Hopefully you get everything right. You come in at 2016 with a great day, you win a great club, with a great squad. So hopefully they get everything right there. Because see, MLS, they're taking up most of the market. But the NASL, they have to go to markets where MLS is not there, where it's a town where there's a soccer team, where there's a great atmosphere, like in Indy 11, where they play in Indiana. The town, the city embraces the club. They love the club. They fall in love with the club. They go watch the match and they fill up the stadium every single week. So that's what NASL should look for in the future. What market, where it should be. Some reports saying maybe like Miami. I think a good spot on the East Coast is Hartford, Connecticut. That is a great spot because the only team close to there is in Massachusetts, Boston, is the New England Revolution, and that is the closest to Connecticut. That's the closest. But why would you want to drive there if you may have an NASL club in your city, in your town? So NASL expansion, it is a great thing to talk about. If you think, if you have an idea of where they might go or where you might want them to go, you could tweet us at One Team Pod saying, I want NFL expansion to go here, or I want them to go to California. Just tweet us. We will talk about that and your question and your idea on the next episode of the First Team web series. So tweet us at One Team Pod saying where you think they should expand to. Maybe California, maybe Canada. And we will talk about your questions and your opinions on the next episode. And I think they should expand past Minnesota, past and more on the West Coast, because there is not a lot of West Coast clubs in the NASL. So. And that is our talk for expansion. It is a great thing to talk about because as a second division team, a second division league, you want to see more clubs coming in, more competition, more clubs to play against, and it's great. Expanding is great. To talk about, to think about. And there is a lot of crowded markets. So NASL really wants to avoid the crowded markets and go into markets that are not really as crowded as New York or Los Angeles or some, like in Los Angeles you got LA Galaxy, Chivas USA, then you got the Orange City Blues. So in California, that's a crowded market. In New York, you should not put a club in New York City. If you want to, I have a great idea because what grows the club, what grows the league is rivalries, is derbies, as they call it in Europe. A derby is two teams from the same town, from the same city, from the same state playing against each other. In the NASL, they only have one. It's a Fort Lauderdale Strikers against the Tampa Bay Rays. And that's a heated rival every single match. It's fun. Two supporters groups come together. They share a beer before the match. They go in the match. They watch the game. They sing, they chant, they drum for their club. They cheer on their club. Then after the match, they enjoy each other. They enjoy the club. And they hopefully get the result that they want. But for the Cosmos, we don't have a derby. See, New York City FC, New York Red Bulls, they're both in MLS. So, for the New York Cosmos and the NASL to have a derby for the Cosmos, my opinion, if you agree with it, just you could tell us on Twitter. But the idea is, in USL Pro, there is a club called the Rochester Rhinos. They have their own stadium. It's a cool stadium. Cool, small stadium. It's not that small, but it's a nice stadium for what they have there in Rochester. If I was the NASL, I would see if they meet the requirements, the $20 million net worth. If they meet those requirements, I would see if they want to come into NASL. You have one extra team, maybe three teams coming next year. You have a derby for the New York Cosmos. So even though it's not in the city, not in Long Island, not in Queens, it's still in New York. It's still cross-state rivals. And they have their own stadium, so they don't have to say, oh, can we propose this stadium? If they want, they can expand the stadium. But it grows the league. Rivalries always grow, get media attention. So that's what the league should work on. More rivalries, more derbies in the league. I think that's what grows the league. gives the league its name. So rivalries is what the league should look for in the future. Okay, so we reviewed the matches. So and we talked about NHL expansion. So so right now we're gonna talk about the MLS All Star Game. Should the NASL have the NASL All Star Game? Um, should the NASL have their own All Star Game? Like maybe like see since they don't have divisions, I don't know if they could have one. If they want to, they might, but I don't see why they would want to. Um, the league is not as big as MLS to say fans vote for a certain player. In my opinion, I don't think the NASL should have an All-Star game. It may rule the league in a way, but I think MLS has it because they want to promote their league. They're playing against the top clubs throughout the world. Like they play Bayern Munich. They won. So that shows the world that, wow, we are better than Bayern Munich. Our All-Stars are better than Bayern Munich. So in the future, they may want to look at an All-Star game, but All-Star games are just what Americans like. All-Star games. Um, we're trying to grow the league, grow the game in like sort of like how the Europeans have their own league. Um, so probably we would not see an All-Star game in the NASL, but it might be a cool thing to see in the future. But there was some news coming out of the MLS All-Star game. Um, the MLS All-Star game saying that Pep, the coach of Bayern Munich, he okay, let me say this again. The MLS All-Star coach, he's the coach of the Portland Timbers. So he coached the MLS side, and Bayern Munich coach. And in the game, they were going to shake hands. So the MLS coach, he didn't. He put his hand out to shake the Bayern Munich coach's hand, but the Bayern Munich coach said, "No, I don't want to shake your hand." So the MLS coach got upset. So he went to go shake the Bayern Munich's assistant coach's hand. They said, "No, we don't want to shake your hand. No." So and then at the press conference, he says that he wants a rematch next year. So he was upset that he lost to the MLS All Stars. Um, in a way, it probably he was just upset. He was just having his feeling on his shoulders. He was showing his feelings that he was upset. He was mad. He doesn't want to shake your hand because he lost. But it's sportsmanship at the end of the match. It's just a friendly match. It's an all-star game. Shake the guy's hand. What does it mean if you don't? It's not like you lost a championship. That's a friendly match. So, Pep, please in the future, be more friendly, be more sportsman. Show your sportsmanship if you have any. Um, and please, in the future, we should get more friendly people here in the MLS and the All-Star game. But the MLS 121, sorry if you didn't see it yet. MLS 121, it was a good match. And we're going to talk more about MLS right now because more news is coming out of MLS right now. But we talk about all the soccer pyramid. We talk about domestic soccer from MLS all the way to NPSL. It may be lower if you want to talk about lower soccer if you would like. And we talk about abroad. So we talk about Europe and around the world, soccer throughout the globe. This is the world game. So we're going to talk about the world playing soccer. We're going to talk about more about MLS right now. Landon Donovan. He announced his retirement. So what does Landon Donovan mean to United States soccer? He means a lot. He probably grew the game. He grew the game here in America. He showed kids that they should play soccer here in America. He scored the most goals in MLS history, and he still leads with the all-time goals in MLS history. He scored the most goals in the United States men's national team history. So he leads two records right now. In the future, maybe someone might break it. Hopefully not, because Landon Donovan is a world-class player. He played across the globe. He played in England, and he played here. He's a great player. And during his press conference, what got me was that they asked him, "Would you want to coach in the future?" Um, and Bruce Arena, the coach of the Galaxy, said, "I don't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it to Donovan, the coach." But Donovan said, "Yes, I would want to coach our kids in the future." So our kids, meaning he wants to coach an academy in the future. He wants to help the academy grow. He wants to grow players, grow kids to become world-class players like how he was. So that's what caught me and said, wow, he is a great player. He is a world-class player, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. He wants to grow the game. He wants to grow the players in America. So about what he said showed the fans here in America that he is probably the best player in this era right now to ever play soccer in America. He's the best all-time player probably. So that is a great accomplishment. That is a great thing that he said in his press conference. It was probably a cool press conference. And it is something that probably I don't think people would ever forget Landon Donovan, but his achievements, his goals. Also, he got excluded from the national team, so that was probably why he retired. He said that he didn't he wasn't feeling it anymore. He wasn't like into it anymore, but he said he is excited that he could spend more time with his family, more time with friends, and he said that he hopefully when he leaves with a championship. So hopefully the MLS and the LA Galaxy, hopefully the Galaxy win the MLS championship. Let's go LA Galaxy. Let's go Landon Donovan. I am not. I don't support an MLS club right now. I'm gonna give you some story about me. I do not support an MLS club. Um, I do support the New York Cosmos. That is my club, my American club, but my international club is Napoli in Serie A. Um, and hopefully they would win the Scudetto, the championship. Um, and we are gonna have a contest in the next show. So tune into the next show, and we will have a cool contest with our partner. We are working on some stuff behind the camera, behind the show. So I'm going to tell you that right now, and we're going to wrap up the show in a little bit. So I'm going to tell you what's going on right now, what to look forward to in the future, and we're going to wrap up the show. So in the future, so this is a weekly show. Today's Saturday, so look for it. Just check out the Twitter at OneTeamPod. We will tweet at OneTeamPod, OneTeamPod, POD, when the next video is going to be released. Look for the video on YouTube, usually after Monday or Tuesday, right after the match. So in the future, look forward to a great web series right here, all about soccer, all about NASL, MLS, all the soccer pyramid, and throughout the world. If we didn't cover world football, we didn't cover world football on today's show. Sorry, we were running out of time and we didn't have enough time. Sorry, we will cover world football next week. So if you want us to cover a specific team, a specific league, a specific country, you can tweet us at OneTeamPod and say, John, can you please talk about Serie A? Can you please talk about the Bundesliga? Can you please talk about Ireland soccer? And we will try our best, and we will work very hard to talk about your favorite team, your favorite country, soccer clubs, and your favorite league. So please feel free to tweet us, or you can email us at firstteampod gmail.com. Feel free. I'm very friendly. I will talk about whatever you guys want to talk about because it's not just my show. It's your show as well. If it's not for you, I wouldn't be here today. Um, so you guys are what keeps the show going every single day. So please feel free, if you're not liking the show, tweet us, email us, and say, hey, please talk about what I like, and we will. So what's going on off the camera? We are working on some partnerships right now to grow the show, to grow this wonderful show right now. So we are working on some partnerships that we really can't talk about right now, but hopefully next show we will talk about the partnerships and we will talk about a lot more about the partnerships that we might have in the future with other organizations, other brands in soccer and in the sports world. Also, I would like to give a couple of shout outs. I would like to give a shout out to the Unused Substitutes. They are a wonderful podcast. The Tampa Bay Rowdies, the unofficial Tampa Bay Rowdies podcast. They're called the Unused Substitute. It's Dan and Matt, two Tampa Bay Rowdies diehard fans. They're great fans of this show. And they're great fans of the podcast. So you can just find them on Twitter at Unused Subs Pod, I think it is. They are wonderful people, and you should listen to their show every week. It is usually after the weekend's match, so maybe Monday or Tuesday they release their podcast. So there's the Unused Substitutes, and then also, last but not least, I want to give another shout out to the Tailgate Show. They are funny, wonderful, great podcast, and they talk about the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Their show is every single Thursday at 7 p.m. on www.blogtalkradio/974 Tailgate Show. That's it. For the Tailgate Show, Unused Substitutes, and CosmosSoccerFan.com. You can check that out. All Cosmos Soccer Fan news for CosmosSoccerFan.com. If you're a soccer fan of the New York Cosmos, you can go on this website, get a quality, great article about the New York Cosmos, but it's by fans for fans. So fans write it, fans cover it. The guy who runs the website, he is a Cosmos supporter, so it is not a company that runs the website. It is a Cosmos fan, and every article, every photo is posted by Cosmos fans. So I contribute to the website every single week. So look up for my article on that website, CosmosSoccerFan.com. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's show. Each show is probably around a half an hour to an hour. This week's show is a little bit more than a half an hour. But you can follow the podcast at OneTeamPod on Twitter. You can follow me at _Hollywood16 on Twitter. Or you can follow our co-host, which he is not here today, but at Geo1Team. At Geo1Team is Giovanni, our co-host of the podcast, and he will probably be on the next episode, maybe. We'll see. But also, that is really it. Okay, let's start a contest right now. When I said that we will have a contest next week, no, I made a mistake. We're gonna have a contest this week. If you could predict the score of the New York Cosmos match tonight, if you predict the score of the New York Cosmos match, you can tweet us at OneTeamPod saying I predict the score to be New York Cosmos and Silverback score. You gotta predict the score. So maybe you say Cosmos 1-0, Silverback 0. If you predict the right score or closest to the right score, you could win a prize from our partners. It is not from us, it is not from the show, it is from our partners. So please tune into next week's show. We will tell you who the winner is. Also, we will tweet out who the winner is on Twitter. So tweet us at OneTeamPod at gmail.com who you think would win the match and the scoreline. So 1-0, 2-0 Cosmos, 2-0 Silverbacks. Who you might think would win the match. So let me say this again. The contest guess who you think is gonna win the match, and you have to give us a score line. 2-0, whatever you think the score is gonna be. So thank you for tuning in this week, the First Team web series. I am John Prashanda, your host. Hopefully, you guys participate in this contest. It is a wonderful contest, and you will win a great prize. So, thank you for tuning in for this week's show. You get another shout out to Dan. Dan and Matt, you are great on your podcast. Hopefully, it is you get a lot of people to view it. It is a great show. Um, Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. You can follow me at one podcast at one team pod, me at underscore Hollywood 16, and my co-host of the podcast at Go1 team. Thank you for tuning in, and my name is John Prashant. Okay, goodbye everyone.